What's going on, guys? Jason here back to my channel, and tonight I'll be doing a review for Monday Night Raw, and pretty good show tonight and stuff, kind of good, and yeah, the first hour was commercial free and stuff, so yeah, it's going to get to it then. So The Rock kicks off this week's show. Uh, so yeah, the intro. I mean, all the show starts and all that stuff, and to ever opener, blah blah blah. We then see a lengthy, elaborate video package recapping what transpired last week at the end of the show with the Rock's violent, bloody attack of Cody Rhodes outside of Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois, as well as a post-show exclusive footage back live inside Barclays Center. We hear the familiar sounds of the Rock's theme music. Uh, Old school Hollywood Rock Hill theme plays as the final boss makes his way out in his custom $5,000 fancy ass vest as always. Um, the Rock sells in the ring after taking his time, make his way out the commercial-free first hour of the final Raw. His music dies down and he takes an extra long pause as boos circulate around the sold-out arena. So there were some cheers and stuff. So yeah, I made that boy bleed. Rock begins as the fans boo. The Rock boasts busting open Cody Rhodes last week and doing what he promised, which was wipe Cody's blood all over his belt to deliver to Mama Rhodes. The fans gave him a loud "what" treatment, chanting after every pause at the end of every statement makes. He talks about how he told Cody to his face that he was gonna make him bleed, and he did exactly that. He says the Cody crybabies didn't like that. He asks if there are any Cody crybabies in the house. The fans boo, but then start chanting "Rocky, Rocky." Rock then turns the attention to the big screen in the arena where we see little kids crying while reacting. I seen the first video on Facebook yesterday. Man, dang, poor kids. Crowd while reacting to Rock's savage beatdown of Cody. The caption on the screen says, "Little sister's reaction to the Rock beating up Cody Rhodes." He says, "Stuff like that breaks the Rock's heart." The final boss says he is a three-time girl dad himself, and he understands. He tells the moms to put their kids in front of the TV. Little boys and girls, there are moments in life when a man has got to do what a man has got to do. He says there are moments in life in businesses that it doesn't belong. There are moments in life when people talk shit that shouldn't be talking shit. He adds, he says there are times like now where The Rock has to beat Cody Rhodes' punk ass down over and over again. The fans give him a loud "Rocky, Rocky" chant break. He boasts making wrestling cool again. He tells selling out arenas and says tonight has broken the record for the largest gate in the history of Raw. He says, and there is one reason, and that is, finally, blood was shed. Finally, we are 5 days out from WrestleMania, and finally, the final boss has come back to Brooklyn. He finishes up his solo portion of the opener on that note, but Brooklyn The Rock didn't come alone. He adds, as Roman Reigns' theme begins playing, out comes the Bloodline group of Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and the wise man Paul Heyman. They make their way down to join The Rock in the ring. Um, yeah, like 3,000, 3.5 years ago of his reign and stuff. Roman Reigns has ruled as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Says Mount Cole out on commentary as a tribal chief leads the bloodline to the ring. Cole mentions Reigns vowing, "I'm gone if he loses the WWE Universal Championship to Cody Rhodes this Sunday night at WrestleMania 40. Cole also points out that Reigns will tie Hulk Hogan for 8 times in the main event of WrestleMania when he and The Rock face off against Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins at WrestleMania 40 Night 1. He says Reigns will then break the all-time record for most main events in WrestleMania history on Night 2 against Cody. Brooklyn, New York, acknowledge me. I'm sorry. Begins Reigns. He says if we saw his A&E biography on Saturday night, no, I didn't. I was watching The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. Then we already know it's family above all. As he continues to talk, he is cut off by loud yeet chants from the Brooklyn crowd. He responds calmly, "No yeet, and if you continue with that, I'll leave." Reigns says he's got to apologize for these idiots because they're distracting him. He says he's trying to put his family over, so please shut your mouths. He wants to take this opportunity to take his cousin because, to be completely transparent, this is going to be the easiest WrestleMania of his life. Yeah, 2 nights. Man, that's going to be crazy. A tag team match to determine the stipulation for Sunday night. We're going to smash those fools, and then it's Bloodline Rules on Sunday, and that means we're going to have our way with Cody. He thanks his cousin and then mentions how he went above and beyond, and he made that boy bleed. Roman says Cody is a politician. He just happy to be here. He says back in 2020 when he started making things cool again, Cody was off somewhere doing something else. He says now that he's back, we can't have you knocking me off the top of the mountain. He says that this is family's mountain and they run this business. He Roman Reigns mentioned AEW. That's what he meant. So yeah, but they don't want to mention the company, so whatever. Um, he says that will never be more crystal clear than this Sunday. But as he stutters through that line, he is cut off by the familiar sounds of the theme music of the WWE World Heavy Champion. With that said, out comes Seth freaking Rollins through the crowd as fans sing along with his music. Cole points out Reigns should know this entrance, though the crowd will referencing he and Rollins days together in the show. He stops in the crowd and gets on the mic and says if they thought he was going to the ring for an ambush, then they're dumber than he thought. If they want that, they've got to come to him and fight the whole city of Brooklyn. Ron says last week they crossed the line, which means now the time for talk is over. He says that doesn't mean in 5 days at WrestleMania he wants to fight tonight. The crowd cheers. He tells The Rock to put his money where his mouth is and challenges him to a fight tonight's main event. The crowd goes absolutely insane. Says he loves it, but he doesn't think old DJ has the balls. He says his cousin might. He doesn't. He says if The Rock doesn't want it, he'll fight Roman Reigns in tonight's main event. He says he'll let them decide. He says they can pick the stipulation even if it's their little bloodline rules. He asks who has the balls. The fans loudly chant, Rocky, Rocky. The Rock puts his hand up and gets on the mic. Let The Rock tell you something right now, punk, says the final boss. He asks if Rollins saw what he did last week. He says Cody got beat so bad he's got brain damage. He tells Seth he doesn't want none of that. He tells Rollins he ain't gonna fight The Rock or Roman Reigns. You sit there, shut your mouth, and enjoy the ride that The Rock is taking you on. He tells Seth he's a tough, crazy son of a bitch. However, they always got a plan. The fans come off with a loud Rocky sucks chants. So Sikoa cuts in on the mic and tells Seth he's not fighting The Rock or Roman Reigns tonight. He's fighting him tonight. Bron says it turns out Solo has the biggest sack in the bloodline you're on, he adds. The Rock says where it's the bloodline rules, we'll see you tonight, boy. Rock concludes to wrap up an entertaining opener. All right, we have a little segment a little promo backstage or whatever and stuff. After the lengthy opening segment wraps up, Cole and McAfee introduce footage from the MMA Hour with Ariel Elwani from earlier today, which shows Rhea Ripley being interviewed when Becky Lynch calls in and says she's outside the building, only to eventually come up again Ripley's face for talking about her child. The two had to be pulled apart back alive. We see Kathy Kelly standing backstage with the man. She talks about the pull apart with the Women's World Champion from earlier today and says her challenge still stands to meet her in the ring later tonight. Alright, the first match is DIY and New Day versus Judgment Day. We return from inside Barclays Center where the theme for the New Day hits. Out comes Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston to a good pop. The team of DIY come out next, and the four settle inside the ring for our first match of the evening, which will be an 8-man tag team bout. the Judgment Day theme hits, and out comes undisputed WWE World Tag Team Champions Damian Priest, Finn Balor, as well as fellow Judgment Day members Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. We see their opponents take the fight to them on the floor. Once Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano get into the ring, the bell sounds and this match gets officially underway. After a tag to Dom, we see him enter for some suplexes. He tries for the three amigos, but only gets to as Gargano drops Dom knees and tag to Finn. Suplex from Gargano. He rolls out of the way of an elbow drop, sends Dom outside, then gets a hit with a clothesline. Tag to JD and tag to Ciampa. Ciampa attacks the corner, then chops JD into the corner, then the ropes whip to the ropes. Ciampa with the clothesline, one for Dom, another in the corner to JD to Dom. He goes back and forth, hitting JD and Dom. Uh, uh, sorry, till Kobe gets a tag. Ciampa hits both men with a clothesline, kicks at Finn, and turns Priest hits a huge kick. Kofi flies from the top rope. He grabs JD. JD rolls him up from one, two, no. Kofi to the corner. Woods with the corner kick from Kofi. Woods dives in with the DDT. Kofi flies off the top rope onto Finn. Outside Woods with the firearms of the shoulders with the power slam from Woods. Cover for one, two, no. Dom stops the pin. It comes Ciampa, drop toe hold to him. Dom hits the rope 61, no. Ciampa catches him. Gargano kicks him in the face. Suicide dive from Jardy to Dom. Ciampa checks on him as Woods kicks JD right in the gut. He locks the head, spins up. JD lands on his feet with the ropes. A Spanish fly pops the crowd. Moments later, we see Priest ultimately connect with his soul. South of Heaven semi-finisher. A few seconds later, Senior Money in the Bank hits the Razor's Edge for the pinfall victory. The winner is Judgment Day. All right, now we head backstage where we see so winners are Judgment Day. Now we head backstage where the Bloodline group standing around Roman Reigns and The Rock have quick words before Reigns says he has to head off. The Rock asks Reigns where he has to go. Reigns says he has a speech to write. He tells the wise man he's welcome. After he walks off, Heyman and Rock hang back. Heyman smiles and looks into the camera. In case you don't know what that means, he says before stating the obvious, which is that Reigns will be the one to induct him into the WWE Hall of Fame later this week as part of WrestleMania 40 week. Heyman and Rock shake hands to end the brief backstage segment. Alright, next match is Sami Zayn versus Bronson Reed. Now we shoot to a segment that shows Chad Gable helping Sami Zayn train for the WWE Intercontinental Championship opportunity against Gunther at WrestleMania 40. This week, Zayn keep giving up while training, and Gable asks him what's holding him back. Taking a page literally direct to Bug of the iconic film Rocky 3, we hear Zayn snap and admits to Gable, "I'm afraid, alright? You want to hear me say?" After this wraps up, we head back inside Barclays Center for our next match of the evening. We hear the familiar sounds of Sami Zayn's theme playing, and as the proper veteran WWE superstar makes his way down to the ring, we finally head to our very first commercial break of the evening, as the commercial-free first hour is now in the rear view mirror. When we return from the break, Bronson Reed makes his way down to the ring. The bell sounds and we're officially up running with this one. Zayn starts off strong, but it isn't long before Reed uses his size and strength to take over. Zayn fights back and leaps from the ring to the floor on Reed. Back in the ring, Zayn follows up with more offense, but then Big Bronson shifts the momentum back into his favor. Reed hits a big Death Valley driver for a close pin attempt, but Zayn kicks out of two. On that note, we should gears and head to a mid-match commercial break as the action continues. When we return, we see Zayn being worked over by Reed. He starts to fight back into the lead, and it seems he's close to wrapping this one up. We see Gunther dragging Chad Gable out at the top of the stage. The This leads to Zayn exiting the ring and heading up to help his coach. Um, he heads up to the top of the entrance where he is attacked by the ring general, the Imperium leader and longest WWE Intercontinental Champion of all time. Brutally beats them, slamming him into the stage set, leaving him laying. As Gunther turns to walk off, he stops and looks back at his work as he stares at Zayn. We see him start to come to life. He gets amped up and gets back to his feet, where Gunther runs over and decks him with the big shot with the belt. The fans boo as Gunther walks to the back. Zayn laid out. So winner is no contest. Alright, backstage we see hip hop legend Lil Wayne hanging out with the Fire Up main event. Jey Uso invites him to attend WrestleMania 40 this weekend in Philadelphia to see him whoop his brother's ass. Lil Wayne says he'll be there, and that he will world premiere his new single at the show. We head to another commercial break. So yeah, Lil Wayne, badass. When we return for the break, that team of Ivy, Niall, Maxine Dupree make their way down to the ring for our next match of the evening. Also coming out are their opponents in the rematch of a recent match, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. The bell sounds and we're officially off running with this one. Kicking things off for the respective teams are Niall and LeRae. Candice runs to the ropes to break the hold. Tag to Indy Ivy. With the wrist lock, she tosses Indy to the floor. Kick from Indy and Brisk, controlled by Ivy. She tags to Maxine, who climbs to the middle rope and drops an axe of the middle drop. Indy with the body slam. She works the left arm and tags in Candice, who slams Maxine down hard. She attacks the back with clubbing blows, then grab her by the head and sends Maxine into the buckle kick to chest. She trips Maxine down and chokes her up with the boot right hand from Candice LeRae. Then a beatdown over and over with hard and lefts chop from Candice. She misses a splash blind tag from Indy. She stops the tag but gets kicked and in comes Ivy. Ivy sends Candice off the apron, kick another to Indy, Rana to Indy. Ivy kicks, gets caught, spins, and Zaguri to Indy. Ivy runs to the corner and hits a huge kick to the chin. Ivy to the top rope. Indy up gets away. Finally, we work our way to finishing sequence in this one, which sees Lorraine knock Niall off the top rope. Indy gets up and talks to her as Maxine Dupree tags back and in and connects with the dropkick to Hartwell, who crashes into Lorraine. She rolls her up for the pinfall victory. So winner is Ivy, Niall, Maxine Dupree. All right, we see Seth freaking Rollins, walking the hallways when we turn into a still fired up main event. Jey Uso. He talks about Rollins' bloodline rules. Main event later tonight against Souls to Go. He says promises to have Rollins back after Rollins had his back on last week's show. After this, we head to another commercial break. Okay. Alright, next match is Ricochet versus Ivar. After a lengthy eulogy of CM Punk, the Seth Rollins by Drew McIntyre to promote the WWE World Heavyweight Champion bout with CM Punk on commentary at WrestleMania 40. Wraps up. We return to Sidebar for our next match of the evening. The theme for Ricochet hits, and out comes the highly respected superstar. He makes his way down to the ring and sells inside square circle scheduled singles action. The Viking Raiders theme hits, and out comes Ivar, accompanied by Valhalla. The bell sounds, and Ivar immediately starts to manhandle the smarter Ricochet. Ricochet tries fighting back, but gets Donkey Kong on the floor by the much larger Ivar on that note, we shift gears and head to a mid-match commercial break as the action continues. When we return from the break, we see Ivar dominating Ricochet in what is still very much a one-sided beatdown of a match thus far. Ricochet fires up and hits an incredible flying splash from the ring to the floor on Ivar. Back in the ring, he hits a springboard lariat. Moments later, he hits a 6 3 630 splash off the top rope for the win. So winner is no contest. Oh, did I say about Sami Zayn match or something? So yeah, it was no contest for Sami Zayn. So nobody won that match. I hope I said it. Um, so yeah, and the winner is Ricochet. Backstage, we see the Judgment Day hanging out with the regular members of the group, as well as Dominic Mysterio's friend Santos Escobar. Can talk about being fed up with Ricochet. Dom says he knows who can handle it, and comes Andrade. They tell him if he handles things, he'll become a full member of the Judgment Day. Alright, a segment coming up right here. Now we shoot back inside the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, where we hear the familiar sounds of Becky Lynch's theme music. The man makes her way out to the ring and as promised, calls out WWE World Women's Champion and her opponent for WrestleMania 40, Rhea Ripley, to meet her in the ring. Before Mommy can't come out, we see the Raw General Manager Adam Pearce come out. Instead, Pearce tells Lance this isn't going to happen tonight. It's going to happen at WrestleMania 4 as scheduled. Ripley's theme hits and the crowd goes wild, but security fills the stage to block the ring. Alright. Ripley comes out looking ready to collide with Lynch before their scheduled title tilt on the grand stage of the mall, but Pierce blocks her and tells her to save it for this weekend. Ripley ends up throwing her title in his face and charging into the wall of security. She and Lynch fight their way through them. We head to a commercial break as the chaos continues. When we return from the break, we see Lynch and Ripley still trying to get each other as they fight through security, and Adam Pearce is losing his mind, yelling at security to get Lynch out of here. Alright, we have a next match coming up is Dakota Kai and Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Tegan Nox. After delivering a message into the camera to Bayley backstage earlier in the show, we had back inside the arena where the Damage Control trio of Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane make their way out and head to the ring. The three will be in our next match of the evening. Or in the ring are their scheduled opponents, the trio of Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Tegan Nox. The bell sounds, and we're for over this one. We see some basic back and forth action early on as Damage Control continue to dominate the offense. We head to a mid-match commercial break. As we sell back from the break, we see Asuka start duking it out. Duking it out. Sorry, Zayn. Tags and Stark hits a suplex and then a top rope drop kick for a close pin attempt. It's announced that the WWE will reveal the location for this year's WWE Clash at the Castle on social media on Tuesday. Damage Control hit a top rope double team finisher for the win. So the winner is Damage Control. Alright, main event. Bloodline Rules main event. Seth freaking Rollins versus Solo Sikoa. When the 6-man tag wraps up, we head to a narrow commercial break. When return, Cole and McAfee promote the release of the new Bray Wyatt Becoming Immortal documentary on the documentary on the Peacock app. I need to watch that documentary. Even though I'm gonna cry. They then run down the list of special events for WrestleMania 40 as well as the lineup for 2 shows this weekend. Okay, so there are 7 matches on the main card, which is the first night, and then there are 6 matches on the second night. So yeah, so there you go. Backstage, we see Kathy Kelly walking with Seth Freaking Rollins as he walks the hallways to head to gorilla position to make his way through the curtain for our final match of the evening. As he does, he stops and sees Drew McIntyre. He tells him, "I ain't dead yet." As he walks off, Drew yells off camera, "Yet." Inside the Barclays Center, we hear "Burn it down" as the reigning WWE World Heavyweight Champion makes his way out in front of the sold out Brooklyn, who are loudly sing along with his entrance tune. He sells inside the ring um, for um, for his Bloodline Rules main event showdown against the enforcer of the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa. On that note, we should get into a quick match commercial break. The theme for Solo Sikoa hits, and out comes the fight is immediately on in the Bell official round. This one, the fans are almost immediately chanting, "We want tables, we want tables." The commentators are quick to point out that in the Bloodline Rules match, tables are as legal as a headlock. With that in mind, Rollins drops off to dominant offensive lead freely using the steel chair. To beat down the enforcer of the Bloodline. Sikoa starts to fight back, and a table is set up in the ring. Sikoa hits a big Samoan drop off the middle rope to put Rollins through it. On that note, we should gears ahead to a mid-match commercial break as the Bloodline Rules main event on here on WrestleMania 40 Go Home episode of WWE Monday Night Raw, Brooklyn, New York continues. When we return, we see Sikoa pummeling Rollins for a prolonged period of time. When Rollins starts to fight back, he hits a stomp, but then comes the unglued as the Bloodline hits the seam and starts to attack. This brings out main event Jey Uso, but the Brock ends up beating him down. Alright, so Cody Rhodes' theme finally hits, and out comes the American Nightmare as the crowd goes insane. He helps Uso and Rollins take over, and has Rock set up for a Brock bomb on commentary desk as at ringside. But then Reigns pops out from under the ring and surprises everyone. He and The Rock proceed to beat down Cody and Rollins in the ring. Reigns shouts and taunts Cody and Rollins, and then The Rock gets a weight belt and starts whipping to Cody and Rollins, who are right around in pain. Reigns takes over and whips the hell out of them as well, but The Rock helps by holding them down. Rock takes over and whips Rollins as Reigns holds him. The two stand side by side in the middle of the ring. Rocky slowly raises his custom weight belt, with Reigns slowly raises his WWE Universal Championship as Cole McAfee promote WrestleMania 40 this week. That's how the show goes and all that stuff. So yeah, it was kind of good, and yeah, it was alright, but you know how that is and stuff. So yeah, The Rock had Bloodline took over, all that stuff. So commercial free, all that stuff. So yeah, anyways, it was good and stuff. So can't wait to see what happens on Friday, all that stuff. So yeah, anyways, that was it for this video. Hope you like it or not. So like, subscribe here, all that stuff, and whatever. Anyways, that was it for this video, and I'll see y'all next time. Laters.